Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the A-Side. I'm your host, Riley. It's been a minute, and this is a review I've been meaning to do for quite a while now. I've had a friend asking me to review this album pretty much every day since it came out, like May. I feel like it hasn't been quite that much, but he's asked me quite a bit to cover this album, and that is The GOAT by Polo G, and I finally got around to listening to it the other night. And the reason I'm making this video, actually, I don't want to get too personal, but I haven't really been in the mood to make videos and stuff until I heard Interpol's Turn on the Bright Lights again. It's an album I had heard a couple times before, but just listened to it off a whim, and I was like, wait, music is like really good, and just that spark ignited, and I just wanted to talk about it again, and knew I needed to get back into the grind of making videos. So here I am now, talking about the very different album, this new Polo G album, rapper, trap artist, Polo G, with his, it's not brand new, it came out in May, release, The GOAT. Now, does Polo G live up to the title of this album? Is he the GOAT, the greatest of all time? No. But he has the potential to be. Now, my problem with this album has nothing to do with Polo G himself. Actually, I think he's a very commanding force on the album. He has a very good flow, and I think he's a really good lyricist as well. A lot of the songs delve into pretty serious subject matters, mostly Polo G getting off the streets and kind of reforming himself from the gangster he was, and taking a retrospective look at his time in the hood and his time as a gangster. And it's very intelligent in a lot of places and emotional in a lot of places. And the album also has a lot of themes of heartbreak and depression and suicide and the loss of a loved one. And I think Polo does a really good job writing about all these subjects. Like I said, I think he's a pretty good lyricist, and he does a good job delving into these subjects. He definitely does them a lot of justice. No, my problem with this album is a lot of the production. This album is 16 tracks long, and a lot of the beats are your pretty typical basic trap beats throughout the entire album. Now, like I said, I don't usually care for the trap sound. I think it sounds good production-wise, but it's very repetitive. The beats do not change that much. So by the time we're at the 16th track, it feels very stale hearing the same trap beats over and over and over again. And it doesn't really stay very interesting. Like I said, it gets monotonous. Kind of bored by the end of the album by the beats themselves. But like I said, that's of no fault of Polo G's. I think he could make a really amazing album if he were backed up by a better producer. I think he has a lot of potential. If you put someone like Kanye or Madlib behind him making the beats, I think it would be one of the best hip-hop albums out there, to be honest. I think he really has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see where he goes in the future, because he is very talented. He's a good rapper. Technically speaking, he has a good flow. Like I said, he's a good lyricist. Some of the lyrics even brought a tear to my eyes sometimes. They were good. It wasn't like a lot of other rap albums, especially in this trap subgenre. He's very focused lyrically and does a very good job of putting his emotions to the beat and kind of explaining how he feels and writing about things that really matter. I actually think the exception to this production rule is Chinatown. Now, it's kind of dumb, but I enjoy it. What it does is it's nothing crazy, but it's your normal trap beat. But in the background, it has like this oriental spice of flavor to it, and it just makes it slightly more interesting than all the other tracks, and I think it was worth noting as being pretty exceptional as a beat compared to the rest of the beats on the album. Now, getting into some of the tracks themselves, I'm not going to talk about every single one, because like I said, a lot of them don't necessarily have much to say about. They're pretty stale production-wise. But Don't Believe the Hype is a really good opener, actually. I do like the song quite a bit. And as you start off the album, these first couple of tracks, of course, the beats haven't gotten stale yet. They are enjoyable at first. It's just as you go down to the 16 tracks. And this song kind of sets up the themes of the album that we're going to hear, talking about how he was, living on the streets, lived kind of that hood life, using like drugs and selling weapons and using weapons and all this stuff, kind but how he got over it and kind of improved as a person and got off the streets and made something of himself. I'm looking through the lyrics right now to see if I can find some of the things he said. In the second line of the song, I dig deep into my spirit when I spit into the mic. All them sit-downs in that county made me think about my life. How kind of when he, went to jail and went through all these things that made him think about, this dangerous life. He's living life on the edge that he needs to kind of improve and change. And this is him looking back on his life, thinking about all these things he did. And that is something that continues throughout the entire album, is that theme of kind of getting out and rising above. And the next track is Heartless, which is another track I really, oh, and I forgot to mention, on Don't Believe the Hype. Production-wise, there's a little guitar line that goes throughout the entirety of the song, like an electric guitar, and I just think that adds a little something to this song that kind of stands out against the rest of them. And the next song is called Heartless, another really good song. I think it's kind of a banger. This is the first song I heard off of this album. I think the hook is really good, and it's just a good, nice song to listen to. Martin and Gina, the next track, is just a good little love song, a rap love song, so it's interesting how it's kind of written, but just a fun little love song. Pretty good. It's very sweet. Nice little track. The next song is Flex featuring Juice WRLD, and man, the Juice feature is amazing. It really reminds me how much of a gem Juice WRLD really was, and I'm sad we lost him so soon, because he could have been the GOAT. He had so much potential, and he's really ruled this year. The feature on Flex is one of the best moments on this album. It brings this song up to being one of the better songs on the album. The Juice WRLD feature on the Kid Laroi album that came out this year was easily the highlight of that album for me, and I think Legends Never Die was probably the best hip-hop album I've heard this year. I'm sure I could think of other ones, but I would say that's the best hip-hop album I heard this year. So it's really sad that he's gone, because he was so talented. But it was nice to hear him on here. Then Go Stupid, the next song, is not one I am particularly a fan of. I think all the rapping is pretty obnoxious, and so is the beat. I don't like this song. Not really at all. 21 is a good track. It's actually got quite a sad vibe compared to what we've heard before it. This album talks about him being famous on his 21st birthday, and also pays homage to his friend Juice WRLD, talking about, how drugs are bad, and how he doesn't like them, especially since Juice died from overdosing on drugs. And I think it's a sweet little touch to mention his friend and homage to a very talented artist in this song. 33, on the other hand, does absolutely nothing for me. I think it's extremely boring, very skippable, and this is where the beats can kind of start to get stale in spots on 33 here. This song does nothing for me. I Know, on the other hand, is proof of how good a lyricist Polo G is, and proof that he has a lot of potential going forward. I think a lot of the lyrics on this song are really good. It kind of deals with the loss of his friends. I think even the suicide is how it feels in some spots. So it tackles the subjects of suicide and losing your friend to suicide, and kind of loneliness and the depression you can start to feel, those feelings that would lead you to hurt yourself in a way. Trauma got me so fucked up, so I'm mentally unstable. I got wrapped up in my emotions, now I'm tangled deep in my thoughts, and overthinking can get painful. Watch how I move, one wrong decision could be fatal. Hidden messages, conversations with my angels, just walk with me and you'll see I'm trying to save you. Most times I'm by myself, I'm still confused from betrayal, from rags to riches. Shit's still hard, I'm just on phase 2. That hits hard, man. A lot of the lyrics on this song do a really good job of kind of bringing how he feels, and I think it's lyrically just a great song. How the Fuck I Wake Up From a Dream to a Nightmare is a really great song. I know, lyric, I know life is a bitch and she don't fight fair. So yeah, I think a lot of his lyrics do a good job. The next track, Beautiful Pain, Losing My Mind, in parentheses, is a pretty good song about heartbreak and Polo feeling pretty lonely and kind of cast out. given the cold shoulder by this girl he loves, and he's so sad over it. And I think it works in tandem very good with Martin and Gina, the kind of sad despondency of Beautiful Pain. Like I said, just kind of juxtaposes good with the earlier track, Martin and Gina. First you hear a song about, being completely in love, and then the next song, a couple tracks down the line on the album, is about being heartbroken. And I think they play off each other pretty well. And another song that kind of proves that Polo is a very talented lyricist is No Matter What, which is another song I really enjoy off of this album. Another one of my favorites, where he kind of talks about hard times, especially living on the streets, and sadness he feels, and depression he can sometimes feel, but fighting through it, and how day by day he just needs to make it through, and his kind of grind through the sadness and through these feelings, with lyrics like, "Pray to the Lord for better days, felt like he's skipping us." He talks about a lot of things on this track, such as his struggle with religion, with lyrics like "Pray to the Lord for better days, felt like he's skipping us." Then verse 1, "Lost touch with God, I'm so happy I found you." Kind of fake people around you, non-believers listen to your dreams and they clown you, feel out of place when all that fake love surround you, loss of friends, trying to leave these hard times and run through mills with my friends, but my homies died young and that wasn't part of the plan. Drug use, I don't want to be awake, that's why I keep popping these Zans. My heart became a weakness, I did everything I can. Kind of, they're being taken advantage of, like your feelings and stuff. And all these problems in his life. But when it gets to the chorus, we was taught to fight no matter what, it ain't no giving up. Never really knowing it's your time, you gotta live it up. Standing on that corner like a rush and we can't get enough. So it's about all these bad things happening to you, but overcoming them and just pushing through every day and not giving up. And I think that's a very good sentiment, and I think it works very well on this song lyrically. I just wish it was a little better produced, if it had a better beat behind it. This could be like one of the best hip-hop songs out there. And the rest of the album, Be Something, Relentless, are good songs and all, but a lot of the production is just a little boring for me. And that's the problem. From that point on, the album starts to get a little stale production-wise, and I start to get a little bored. It gets a little tedious. But overall, I think it is a very good album. Like I said, I think Polo G is very talented himself. Very good lyricists. I enjoyed a lot of the lyrics and a lot of the concepts and themes behind these songs. Just a lot of the production. It did not strike me as good as it should have. That being said, I still do think it's a good album. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on The GOAT by Polo G. What do you guys think of this album? If you listen to it, leave a comment below. And I've noticed, I actually have been talking about a lot of rap on this album, or on this channel quite a bit, which is funny because if you can't tell by like my shirt, I'm more of an alternative rock guy. Right here we've got ourselves a post-punk album. I'm more into rock, alternative rock, like post-punk, emo, goth, and pop punk. So I think my next video might be a little more rock-centric, but you'll know where that be found when I come around. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Riley. You've been watching the A-Side, and I'll see you all next time.